Good evening, friends. Stephen Ben-Nun here with Israeli News Live. And the situation in Israel is very, very, very tense right now. There has been a massive amount of rockets that have been fired by Hamas from Gaza into Israel. What you're seeing on your screen right now are Israeli tanks sent to us by Chavar on Twitter there, shared this information there with us there. Those tanks being moved towards the border of Gaza. Israel has already launched airstrikes. It appears to be that Israel is planning maybe even possibly a ground invasion there. This has all kind of started over the fact that Hamas had given Israel the deadline to get the military, the IDF, off the Temple Mount, go back to the status quo, the Jordanian status quo there that they have about the Temple Mount. Israel has not been willing to do so. I mean, we've been seeing all kinds of images. Hal Turner had shared this here where there was a fire on the Temple Mount. There have been riots. There's been riots all through the country, in fact, not just on the Temple Mount, but all through the country. So I want to share just a little bit with you here. This is what was shared with me. Since the beginning of the escalation, about 480 rockets have been launched into the Israeli territory, and about 150 rockets have landed in the Gaza Strip. Air defense fighters intercepted about 200 launchers. A rocket fired at Ashkelon in the afternoon directly hit a school in the city of Ashdod. 3 rockets hit residential buildings in the city. The IDF confirmed the missile hit in Ashkelon was caused by a malfunction in the Iron Dome battery in the city, which was repaired about an hour later. And there was also an attempted shooting attack at the Tepuach Junction. Again, of course, that is. Lior wrote that again on there because they just had the attack at the Tepuach Junction just the other day. They still have not been able to apprehend the man that did this. Apparently, the terrorists thought they would be able to surprise the soldiers, but the soldiers were very alert and the terrorists were neutralized. Beyond that, in localities where Arabs live all over the country, violent riots, clashes broke out with police, innocent civilians walking on the street or traveling on the road, and includes cities like Haifa, Acre, Galilee, cities Lod, Ramallah, right in the heart of the country. Demonstrations by the Arabic public, who are citizens of the country, turned into a violent revolt against the Jews. The police are unable to respond to all these incidents, and the Israeli citizens feel helpless. Yesterday, during Jerusalem Day celebrations at the Western Wall, a fire broke out on the Temple Mount near the Al-Aqsa Mosque, and it was a surrealistic spectacle. Some say it is a sign. That's just some of the things that Lior shared with me there. There on Hal Turner, they show a picture of that. I'd seen a video footage over on Twitter earlier where these things were happening. Lior also was kind enough to send me some video footage that he had taken himself, and that's what I want to try to share with you there. It's a little bit, I want you to be able to hear the audio. So in order for me to do this, I'm going to click on the source here. That's the video footage right there. But let me get the audio, which I'm going to capture that using the video where I downloaded it on the screen there. Where, let's see, Lior actually sent that to me. So I'm going to try to hit it as close as I can so you get them simultaneously there. So let's try to do this. Are you ready here? All right, so that's what you saw there and what you heard as well. I mean, the sheer number of rockets. Let me just back up so we can look at that there. Look at all the rockets in the sky and the incoming, the Iron Dome going off. I mean, just an enormous number of missiles trying to intercept. As Lior pointed out, 480 rockets have been fired into Israel. Many of those are hitting their targets. Now, let me share with you another video footage there. So let me just give me 1 second here. let's see here how I could do this there. I have to try to add another media source on this. Some things I'm doing here in the background because I'm not very savvy at this. So we're going to try to get another one here for you, and so I can show it. There you go, right there. I'll put those side by side on the screen. Now, this here, send this in. He actually took both of these. These actually come from him. And so let me just take and I'm going to get the sound bite off of that one as well. And that was a very serious situation over there too. The guys were laughing about the rockets that were coming overhead, and then so let me just quickly try to get this going here simultaneously the best I can for you guys. All right, here's going to be the audio. Listen up. It sounds a little off there, but hopefully you can see what's going on. We'll come back to it here in just a second. It says to wait.
התפוצצו מכוניות.
So the situation is very real, very tense in Israel right now, and very sad situation indeed what's going on there. So I want to thank Leor for sending me the information, updating me on the things that are happening there in Israel, as many of my friends are, different places there, especially on Twitter. A lot of our friends there also updating us about things that they're seeing, people sending things by email as well. Let's pray for everybody involved, everybody, their lives that are certainly being threatened by the violence that's going on there. And that's on both sides, both Jewish and Palestinian people, that their lives are at risk. And of course, the tensions that are going on. A lot of times these tensions, even though that very much there's a lot of political maneuvering in the background. And that's what's sad about all this. Everything is done for a reason, because of trying to bring about that new world order. Anyway, I'm Steve Ben-Nun. You're watching Israeli News Live, and thank you for watching, and have a good evening.